Hey, James, what's up with that thermos right there?
Yeah, somebody sent me this thermos. It was kind of an asshole.
Hey, I noticed that Micro Machines thermos you have there. I was wondering if you'd want to trade it for a copy of Kazaam.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
My name's Shitty 3D Genie, and I'm here to say I like granting wishes in a major way. Go Genie, go Genie, go Genie, go Genie.
Okay, for my first wish, Genie, I want all copies of Speed to turn into Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Well, that movie sucks, but your wish is my command.
You're a monster.
For my second wish, I'd like all copies of Roadhouse 2 to be erased from existence.
You got it, dude.
For my third wish, I'd like the Lost World Jurassic Park to be replaced by Jurassic Park 3.
No, that's it. You already took away Speed. You're not taking away the Lost World. Jurassic Park 3 sucks. I don't even understand why you like it.
You know what? My third wish? I don't want Kieran in the review today.
No problemo.
You can suck my... Oh! I'm allowed back at the store?
No.
Careful what you wish for. All right, so Shaq Fu. I mean, Shaq and Kazaam.
Yes. Kazaam.
I understand why you would say Shaq Fu, which I think was not just the name of the game, but also his rap album, I think?
Maybe. Maybe.
Really?
I believe so.
Okay.
Not to mention the pinball machine, Shaq Attack.
Yeah.
Oh.
I felt attacked by Shaq in this movie. Let me tell you, I got a problem with this movie before we get into it.
Okay.
It's going after me. I feel personally attacked by this because, one, Shaq says that he destroyed Pompeii, the city in Italy.
What's like the worst thing you've ever seen in your life?
The destruction of Pompeii.
It was a wish? That was you?
Look, I didn't have a choice. Besides, I did some hard time under that ash.
Because I'm very Italian. And then the bad guy in this film looks exactly like my dad. Like the split image of my dad.
Oh, really?
So I feel like Shaq had a beef with me, even though this movie came out when I was like 5 or 6.
So that means...
So, okay, this is definitely a movie based around a personality, like a celebrity. Now, the only thing I know about Shaq is that he was a basketball player.
Yeah.
I think I even know he played for the Lakers.
Yes.
And as well as some other teams, I think.
Yeah.
That's all I know about Shaq. Aside from the most important thing is Shaq Fu, which was always a important game request all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq Fu, worst games ever made. Everybody always says it's one of the worst games ever made. It's pretty bad. Then there's this movie, which is 1,000 times worse than that.
it's fun. It's a fun movie.
No, it's not. What? Why do you hate good movies and then like trash like this? You shat on Caddyshack, but you love this Shaq, you sad sack. God damn you.
Look, this is the movie my friends would put on in high school to like fuck with people when they came over. Like, oh, we're watching a movie. Oh, it's Kazaam. So fuck you, Krause, if you're watching this, because it's bullshit.
So, but to get back to the celebrity status of Shaq, like what?
Yeah.
I know he does a lot of commercials and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
I mean,
there's something
now
humorous,
he's,
like
he's like a commentator for basketball. And
Yeah.
he's like
And he's funny now.
yeah. I mean, he seems like he has a really good sense of humor. So even though, like, I can't tell, like, when I watch this movie, I almost feel like he knows he's in a bad movie.
Oh, he does.
And, like,
He
just,
executive produced this movie. He should know he was in a
So
bad
what
movie.
happened
It
was
was Shaq Fu, like he made the second game, and I feel like that was kind of just. So is part of his career about like doing things that are like really bad?
Well, it's
and then,
different
like,
because this came out after Blue Chips, which is a basketball movie, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And this was before Steel, which is a piece of crap.
Which is very bad.
So what happened was this movie cost $20 million to make.
Yes.
And he cost $7 million. And then he said something like, hey, you give some delinquent kid from Newark $7 million to make a movie? Of course I'm going to do it.
He's young in this.
He is, yeah.
He's like early 20s in this, I think.
Mid, late, yeah.
I think he might be younger, but yeah, you're right about a personality-based comedy, which I think were huge in the 90s. You had like the Jim Carrey movies, the Chris Farley movies. Like they were usually built around someone.
This is definitely a B. Like I think they knew it was a B movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you look at that tape there, the Los Angeles Times, where the Lakers were, the only quote they have is "fun." Look, it just says on the front. It just says "fun."
Can we also mention that this isn't an official tape?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a full-length screener for video retailers only.
Yeah. It's a demo tape. So what's funny about this tape is it is one of those like demo tapes like for retail stores to be like, oh yeah, here's a free tape. If you like it, bring it in your store and spend money on it.
Even if you look at his face on the cover, it just looks like he's got his arms folded and he's laughing. Kind of like, yeah, this movie sucks.
So guess what? So that's a kid's movie. Guess what one of the trailers is for that movie?
What?
Hellraiser Bloodlines. Yep.
On the tape.
Bloodline.
On
Yep.
the tape, the fourth one.
And Michael Bay's The Rock. Paul Bearer with David Schwimmer. Spy Hard. That's why I have a Leslie Nielsen picture right there, signed from Spy Hard. And lastly, there's a movie called Loaded, which is like a found footage, like you're making a movie, but then you're killing people on your own movie set. And there's an actual picture of like a disembodied like woman's torso and stuff in the kids' movie, like on the tape. It's really awesome.
Well, it's basically like a boy, Max, finds this genie inside of a boombox.
Because the lamp fell over into a boombox. And apparently this isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
Because he's mentioned being in trombones and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I never heard... The rules of the genie in this, I can't figure out.
Yeah.
They don't adhere to any other genie rule that
Well, you would know.
I would know. I know a lot about genies. But yeah, like, he can't use his powers. Like, the first wish...
Yeah.
Max makes a wish for, like, a car. And then he can't do it. And then I'm just like, oh, maybe, like, the wish needs to be from the heart.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to really believe in it. But then that's not the case, because later on, the kid just says some bullshit, and then the wish comes true.
Hey, so sometimes we all have off days. Sometimes you can't make the Black Jaguar XKE, I think it was. Okay, first off, who directed this movie, Tony?
Yes, okay, so I noticed something when we were editing Running Man. One, yes, it was a Stephen King book. We forgot to mention that, but we were all aware. Two, I looked up the director, and it's Paul Michael Glaser, who played Starsky in Starsky and Hutch. Mm-hmm. So when I was watching Kazaam, I'm like, who directed this piece of shit? And I look up, it's Paul Michael Glaser from Starsky and Hutch.
Who did Running Man.
And after the Running Man episode, I watched that movie like 4 times. I was telling my girlfriend how great it was. Yeah. And then we're watching Kazaam last night. I'm like, oh wow, I was praising this guy all last week, and now I just fucking hate him for this movie.
Yeah, I love the kid Max in this. He's just like, he reminds me of the kid from Last Action Hero, where he's just like this like jerk kid who's always making snide comments.
Guys, Max is the fucking worst. I hate this kid in this movie. Like, his character, like, he's real. I know this is like a trope in movies where the kid doesn't want the mom to get remarried.
It's like a divorce movie, yeah.
But he's like real mean about it. Like, he's like screaming at the mom. He's like, go back to Travis.
Yeah.
And then like he has an over-exaggerated room, which was popular for 90s kids movies. Remember Jingle All the Way, the kid out of
Well, he was stealing stuff, so he made his bed look like a taxi.
Yeah, and then he also has a warehouse that is condemned, but he makes it like his superhero lair.
It reminds me of like how like in the Ninja Turtles, all the jerk kids have a cool hangout, or in Hackers they have a cool like rollerblading rink.
But it's
like,
just one kid.
Max. He's a troubled kid.
Yeah.
He gets chased into the condemned building where the genie is now in a boombox.
Yes.
The kids in the school are badass like villain kids who are trying to rob Rolexes, and they're like jerks.
Yeah.
And he gets trapped under a thing of rubble after falling through fucking 4 flights of broken floor.
That kid, he shows up and the mom's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "You fell through 4 flights of stairs."
He took more damage than like Joe Pesci in Home Alone. And he activates the boombox. The kids decide to fight 6 foot, like 10. No, how tall is Shaquille O'Neal?
He's like almost 7 foot, I think, or 7 something.
All these kids decide to fist fight Shaquille.
Yeah.
Shaquille beats them all down with magic.
Yeah.
And then the kid doesn't believe that he's a genie or anything.
Shaq would not fit in this room, I don't think.
No. He would not. He is very tall. And he's, because it's the 90s, he's a rapping genie.
Who dare to wake me? Ain't gonna make this a mystery. Don't wanna do time on your wishes 3. Watch it, boy. You don't wanna diss me, or I'll dish out my misery. Now, who's that sorry wannabe that disturbed my Z?
And he doesn't stop rapping the whole
it's a good
movie.
thing he's a rapper because Max's dad, deadbeat dad, owns a nightclub or something.
Yeah, the dad, who's also the director's son, this is the only movie he's ever acted in. He's also a terrible human being. Not the actor. The character is a terrible human being. He's like, who is this kid? Get out of here. And the kid's like, it's me, I'm your son. He's like, oh, whatever.
No, then he's like, come in and eat pizza and meet the brat.
Yeah, meet the brat. And then later on, he's like beating the shit out of a guy. And the kid's like, Dad? He's like, get out of here. He's like, throws him out. It's like, wow, this guy's fucking all. And then the kid, like.
I'm laughing right now because I think for the first time ever, since we've been doing this, I was like thinking about like, oh, how cool would it be to have Shaquille O'Neal here, and then I was like measuring the room, like I don't know if he'd fit in the room.
The thing is, he could be sitting here and still be too tall.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Oh my god!
I don't know. Like, I guess James, what do you think of Kazaam's powers and like the 3D animation in this movie? Like the French toast scene, the magic bike scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even my concerns with it at all.
So this was after The Mask, right?
Yes.
This feels very much like
so.
The Mask
Yeah,
with the CGI.
But The Mask was funny, and The Mask
The
had
Mask
like
was hilarious.
I love how the wishes are like monkey paw kind of wishes, kind of like from Twisted Metal, like Calypso, where you wish for something, but it's more evil than you'd want it to be.
Yeah, careful what you wish for.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I want junk food, the rain from the sky, and then like,
that was kind of funny. Actually,
like,
that was a good scene because it starts because of how like slow they get into it. Like it starts to trickle.
It's like raining.
Oh, there's like a few Tootsie Rolls or whatever, and then it's like, oh, then some fries come down, and then like. Or first, like the burgers come down, they're splatting on like the pavement, and then it starts coming down more and more, and it's this slow buildup that makes it funny, like how much more stuff is going to come down, and then it's just like out of control.
Kazam, for like a large chunk of the movie, he just forgets about being a genie and is trying to pursue a rap career.
Well, there's the whole rap scene in the movie where they sing "We Genie."
Oh, that was a whole different rap thing. That when he explains his origin through song with the kid about how he was a dude. Yeah. Him and his friend. He mentions a friend in the song.
I did have this friend in 1000 BC. We discover a bevy of bathing beauties. Her bird looks to me and I says to he, why don't we jump in that old Euphrates?
Yeah.
And then like it never comes up again. It's like, oh, that's how you become a genie? A sultan makes you a genie?
They're gonna no, it's not a sultan. It was like this evil something from the sky comes down and saves their lives in return to become their slave of genies.
Okay.
And then they talk about jinns, like free genies and stuff. Like there's more genie lore in this than in Aladdin.
Yeah, when they mention jinns, which apparently are different than genies, I'd have to research it. I thought genie was just a form of jinn. Like there was like a translation.
Qui-Gon Jinn?
Yeah. No, when they said Jinn, all I could think about was the Wishmaster movies and how I'd rather be watching the Wishmaster movies.
I like mixing ginger ale with gin.
Is that how you get through Kazam?
Oh, yeah. There is some humor. Like there is some humor that almost works. Like the fact that the genie does not know what's going to happen when he tries to grant the wish. Like there's always the assumption that okay, the genie just knows, but he doesn't. He's not like in control of it that much.
What's cool about it is he was a human before he became a genie, so he knows what it's like to be human and doesn't know his full extent of his powers.
Also, he's going back and forth. He's acting like he hasn't been alive in like 1,000, 100 years or whatever. So he's using like outdated phrases like "hold your camel" instead of "hold your horses." And he's like wearing outdated stuff, but then he's able to like reference like modern movies, like the genie from Aladdin.
Because they want to make it like that. Because it's also weird. Because sometimes they say he's 5,000 years old. Sometimes they say 3,000. The box says 2,000. I think like it doesn't know where it wants to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making fun of the plot of Kazam, but
it's a genie holding a boombox with sparks shooting out of it.
Oh my god, I got scared watching that scene. Where he's like wrapping the spark and he's spraying Debrat in the audience. Looks like they're really getting hit with the sparks. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, was that an accident? Like, they better be careful.
And I love how you find out the main villain is this Iranian guy who looks like your dad.
Looks exactly like my dad.
So it looks like your dad's eating goat eyes in the movie. Because they eat goat eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was kind of gross.
Have you ever thought about eating an eyeball, Tony?
I want to side rant here.
Well,
guys,
Temple Doom,
yeah. Guys, stop sending me eye-stabbing gifts, please. Please, for the love of God, I can't take it anymore. I'm afraid to check my notifications. I actually saw my eye doctor yesterday. I have 20/20 vision again. And I told him about what you've all been doing, and he laughed his ass off. But, which only made me angrier.
Yeah.
Dr. George, great guy. Stop sending me eye stabbing stuff. Yes, the eye eating was gross in this, and I hated it, especially since it looked like my dad was eating it.
When an eye doctor's laughing, haha, stabbing eyeballs.
Yeah, he thought it was hilarious. I'm like, hey, by the way, I started a show, and people are sending me stabbing eye stuff. He's like, ha! I'm like, God damn it.
So anyway, the Iranian guy, his plan is to steal the genie from Max.
Yeah.
And his plan is to steal the world's money or do something stupid.
Yeah.
But he also runs an illegal, like, I guess they record the brat and then they're going to make their own bootleg CDs to sell and the dad...
Yeah, it's a real lame crime operation they're doing, especially since it hasn't aged well because pirating has gone like crazy since then.
And then the bully kids steal the tape. But it doesn't make sense that your master tape would be a fucking cassette tape. It'd be like a reel-to-reel, like back then. It wouldn't be like a cassette tape. That's like a shitty format. It doesn't make any sense. So they steal the $1 million tape, and the goal is for them to get it back. Yeah. So Max wastes his second wish on that. Yeah. His second wish gets the tape back, gives it to the dad. The whole thing's stupid.
He wants his second wish to be his dad falls in love with his mom again.
No, the last wish.
Well, no, that was originally going to be his second wish. And then he explains that only jinns can do ethereal things like this. Genies can only do material stuff.
I feel like the genie has to prove itself to become a jinn. Like, become selfless.
Because at the end, Max dies? He falls down an elevator shaft.
Pushes down an elevator shaft.
Push down an elevator shaft. And then it reminded me... Kazaam in that warehouse wherever they are reminded me of Batman and Batman v Superman where he's murdering everyone in the warehouse. Because Kazaam murders everyone in that... To the point, my poor dad, he turns him into like a basketball and then throws him down a chute.
Well, yeah.
And then he's like screaming, he's angry. I'm like, wow, this movie got dark.
Which is funny, because that means the firefighters are going to find his corpse just mangled up and burnt alive.
And then the last wish he wanted was for his dad to have a second chance. And then suddenly he's able to grant that wish. And then he turns into a golden head made out of sparkles.
I'm putting a side-by-side shot. It looks like the scene when Joy is talking to whatever his nuts in Blade Runner 2049. Okay. It's like, looks exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah. I want to do like a who did it better.
It gets real like trippy for a second, and I hate this movie. It's so bad.
A few things.
I would just like the idea of Blade Runner 2049 versus Kazaam. That's actually a good idea for a series of videos. Do like do what's better. Like two random. Like what's better, Roger Rabbit or Penn and Teller get killed? Stuff like.
Oh, did you see the King Kong reference in Kazaam?
King Kong.
He puts on a gorilla mask, which is broken, by the way. It's got a ripped eye, and there's a plane on the thing, and he starts growling at it.
He starts doing it like King Kong.
It's like, all right, so he's at least heard of King Kong. He knows King Kong. Either have him doing the pop culture stuff right away, or have him be oblivious.
So he wouldn't know any of these things because he's this genie from like what thousands of years ago or what.
Well, or maybe he could, like the Robin Williams genie is doing it right away, so you're on board with it.
Oh yeah.
Kazaam is like going back and forth with his references.
That's right, because the genie in Disney's Aladdin, he's always doing the impressions all the time.
The movie also likes to rip off Last Action Hero because at one point the genie becomes his tutor, kind of like how Arnold Schwarzenegger becomes his like friend or mentor or whatever in Last Action Hero, and I'm like, they're just stealing from everything. Like,
That was like a big thing in the 90s. Like a lot of this movie is just 90s as fuck.
Very 90s.
90s as fuck.
Yeah, I gotta look up who the cinematographer is. This reminded me of Cool as Ice, the Vanilla Ice movie, which was shot by Steven Spielberg's cinematographer.
Did it remind any of you of this genie movie called Shazam?
Oh my god!
Okay,
you know
which
what?
is clearly Kazam. Like,
it's clearly Kazam. I'm actually kind of mad about that because. The copy of the movie I had, the kid's shirt, it looked like they blurred out something on his shirt.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh, what's the story there? Is there something... we'll talk about Devil's Advocate one day, where there was an issue with that, where they had to blur something out in the home release. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, what's that thing they keep blurring out? And when I went to look up Kazaam, all I got was fucking Mandela Effect Shazam articles. I couldn't find any other information about this movie outside of that.
Yeah. That comes up all the time.
Yeah.
Did you see when Sinbad actually filmed a scene from Shazam? It was like, look, we found it. We found a copy.
That's actually really funny. My friend Justin Wang did a video on that, proving that it was fake and how that was fake, and people were like, "Oh no! Did you see they found the Sinbad footage?" And he had to do a follow-up video going, "That's not real."
Did you see the date at which it was posted?
Yeah.
April 1st.
Not just that, it looked like ass. Like, no offense to whoever made it, but like, it didn't look like a real.
But it was funny because to see him get in on the joke and actually play along with it. So
yeah, that was funny. But people actually pretended that was their proof, and it's like, you idiot.
There's two things I want to know about Kazaam. One, in they're both in the club scene. In the club scene, the club's logo looks like the X-Men logo, like they'd wear on their belts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should look for that. And two, I guess because Malik, that's his name, Malik, the bad guy. The club's name is in Arabic.
Yeah.
Can someone find out what the hell it means?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyone,
what the club
please
is
let us know what the club's name is.
So at the end, he becomes a djinn, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly he's dating that girl? Like, Shaquille O'Neal was, like, on a date with a girl who's one of the bad guys, who's trying to get information.
At the very end, right?
Is that the scene where Max comes out of the glass of water for no reason?
What was that? Why did Max come out? Did the genie do that?
I don't know.
Did the genie teleport him? That was weird.
I don't know.
That was the most horrifying visual effect
Which
I've
is
ever
funny
seen.
because he doesn't stop him when he falls in an elevator shaft.
Oh my god, he's a shitty. He ignores Max at several points in the movie. Max is like, Genie, Kazam, and he's like, oh, whatever, I gotta rap. And then the end, it's like he's suddenly in a relationship with that girl, and she wants him to get a job. It's like, when did any of this happen?
Yeah, so is he still a djinn then, or is he
I have no
human?
fucking idea.
I mean, I'm not even like past the point of thinking about.
Have you guys seen Freddy Got Fingered?
Oh,
Yes.
Remember Shaq at the end of that?
Oh, do you have it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Please message Tom Green. I would love to have Tom Green sitting here instead of Tony talking about Freddy Got Fingered. Please let Tom Green know. This is literally my favorite comedy of all time.
That explains a
it
lot.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
It has a dear place in my heart.
Is it because Shaquille O'Neal's in
More
it
than
first?
dirty work.
Oh, Dirty Work. Dirty Work and Freddy Got Fingered might be number 1 and 2. This is the first movie I saw when I was 18 years old. Like, I worked at the theater, and they're like, "You're not 18, you can't see it." I'm like, 1, I work here, you suck. 2, my birthday's in your records. Like, where's your ID? And I'm like, I don't need an ID. I don't drive a car yet. Like, it took me till like I was 19 when I started driving. I don't know.
But yeah, Shaq is in that, and his one scene in that is funnier than anything in Kazam.
Yeah, he starts like humping the air in this one. It's really good.
Yeah.
See, that one is just so off the wall that it's funny because
Yeah.
it is just so completely bizarre.
He's just
Kazam, the problem I have with it is just that it's so generic. It's just like every 90s movie.
it's trying to
and
cash
it's like,
in on a lot.
Yeah, and like nothing about it is like that funny, and yeah, like
The visual effects are all over the place. It's
Yeah.
it's weird.
I mean, Shaq's personality does kind of have, some like appeal because when you watch it, you can kind of tell like he's not really taking it serious. This is just supposed to be a fun movie.
Yeah.
So I can see it, for that.
No.
But
Can I rent this?
sure.
Thank you.
Anyway, I need to go find a gin and get better wishes.
Yeah, I need to go find some actual gin.
I have some.
What are we, Max? We Genie. I can't hear you, Max. I cannot hear you. What are